Let's face it, understanding men can feel like cracking a mysterious code. Why does he pull away when you get closer? Why does he light up at some compliments but go silent at others? The truth is, most of us navigate relationships with assumptions, some true, many misguided, that leave us more confused than ever. But what if I told you there are predictable weaknesses in every man's emotional armor? Vulnerabilities that, when understood, can turn the tide in your favor. This isn't about manipulation. It's about uncovering truths that help you connect on a deeper, more fulfilling level. Men may act stoic, like their feelings are locked in a vault, but behind that front lies a complex world of needs and desires. When you know how to respond to those unspoken needs, you unlock not just his attention, but his true affection. Imagine the power of making him feel seen, understood, and completely drawn to you without even trying. Sounds like a dream? It doesn't have to be. Today, we're diving deep into his top 10 emotional weaknesses, hidden truths he probably doesn't even realize about himself. From his craving for respect to his secret fear of failure, each one reveals a new layer of the masculine psyche. So, are you ready to decode the mysteries of Stoic love? Ready to discover how to use Stoicism, the very trait men prize, to build an irresistible connection? Let's begin with the first secret, his overwhelming desire for respect. 1. The desire for respect. Respect is a small word, but for men, it carries the weight of their identity. Whether he's a CEO commanding boardrooms or an artist pursuing his dreams, respect is the lens through which he measures his worth. It's not just about being admired, it's about being valued for who he is and what he brings to the table. If you want to capture his heart, you need to understand just how much this matters. Think about the last time you saw his face light up. Was it when you praised his idea, applauded his hard work, or simply thanked him for fixing that thing you couldn't reach? That moment wasn't just about acknowledgement, it was about affirmation. When a man feels respected, he feels seen, not for what he owns or achieves, but for the person he strives to be. But what happens when he doesn't feel respected? He withdraws. You might notice him becoming distant or defensive, shutting down instead of opening up. This isn't because he doesn't care, it's because he doesn't feel safe enough to show you the vulnerable parts of himself. Respect is his emotional armor, the thing that protects his sense of self. So, how can you use this knowledge to strengthen your relationship? Start by observing how he reacts to certain situations. Does he swell with pride when you compliment his effort? Does he look disappointed when you dismiss his ideas? These reactions aren't random, they're windows into what he values most. Here's a little secret. Men are naturally drawn to women who make them feel like kings without putting themselves in the background. It's a delicate dance, offering respect without losing your own voice. When he sees you as someone who values his opinions but also stands firm in her own, you become irresistible. Let's dive into an example. Suppose he's sharing his goals with you, whether it's building a business, running a marathon, or simply trying to get healthier. Instead of just nodding along, say something like, "I really admire how disciplined you are." Not everyone could commit to something like that. Notice how his posture changes, how he sits a little taller. That's the power of respect in action. But let me be clear, this isn't about blind flattery. Men can sense insincerity a mile away. True respect comes from recognizing his efforts, even in the small things. Thank him when he remembers your coffee order. Acknowledge the way he handles stressful situations with grace. When you highlight what makes him unique, you're not just feeding his ego, you're showing him that you see him. There's also a flip side to this coin. Avoid using words or actions that diminish him. Even sarcastic comments about his abilities, especially in front of others, can cut deeper than you realize. A simple joke about his driving or his cooking might seem harmless, but to him, it could feel like a spotlight on his insecurities. Respect isn't just a one-time effort, it's an ongoing practice. As you build this foundation of mutual appreciation, you'll notice something extraordinary. He'll start opening up more, sharing pieces of himself he might have kept hidden before. Why? Because when a man feels respected, he feels safe, and safety is the gateway to true intimacy. So here's your challenge. The next time you're with him, look for an opportunity to show respect in a way that feels authentic. It could be as simple as thanking him for being dependable or recognizing the effort he puts into your relationship. Watch how he responds. You might just find that this small shift transforms the way he sees you and the way he shows up for you. Are you ready to learn the next secret? If respect is the cornerstone of his emotional world, then his need for emotional security is the hidden door that leads to his heart. Stay tuned as we explore how to unlock it. 2. The need for emotional security. If respect is the foundation of his strength, emotional security is the silent undercurrent that keeps him steady. Men, despite their often stoic exteriors, have deep emotional needs they rarely vocalize. This isn't because they don't feel, it's because society has conditioned them to suppress vulnerability. But here's the truth. When a man feels emotionally secure with you, it unlocks a side of him that's tender, open, and fiercely loyal. Have you ever wondered why he seems to pull back during arguments, or why he hesitates to share his struggles? It's not that he doesn't trust you, it's that he fears judgment. Emotional security means creating a space where he knows he can be himself, flaws and all, without risking rejection. When you master this, you build a connection that goes far beyond surface-level attraction. So how do you create this emotional sanctuary for him? Let's start with one powerful tool: listening. Not the kind of listening where you're waiting for your turn to speak, but the kind that says, "I'm here and I hear you." When he shares something vulnerable, whether it's about his stressful day, his family, or even his fears, resist the urge to offer immediate solutions. Instead, validate his feelings. Say things like, "That sounds really tough," or "I'm so glad you told me." This might seem simple, but to him, it's monumental. Men are often problem solvers by nature, so they rarely experience someone who simply listens without trying to fix them. Your patience and understanding become a refuge, a place where he can lay down his emotional armor. But emotional security isn't just about heavy conversations, it's also about consistency in how you show up. Imagine this. He texts you after a long day looking for support, and your response is warm and reassuring. Now imagine another scenario where he reaches out, and you dismiss him with indifference. These small moments add up, shaping how safe he feels with you. Let's not forget the power of emotional reciprocity. When you're willing to show your own vulnerabilities, it gives him permission to do the same. Share your fears, your dreams, your struggles. It makes the connection feel mutual. Remember, Stoicism doesn't mean emotional detachment. It means understanding and managing emotions effectively. When you show him you're not afraid to be real, he'll respond in kind, deepening the bond you share. Here's a little secret. Men crave emotional intimacy just as much as women do, but they often don't know how to ask for it. By being his emotional anchor, you're not just fulfilling his need for security, you're becoming irreplaceable in his life. Now I want you to pause and reflect. How emotionally safe do you think your partner feels with you? Have you ever asked him about his fears or what makes him feel vulnerable? If not, this is your chance to start. The next time you're together, ask him, What's something you wish more people understood about you? This question is like a key. It unlocks doors to his inner world that he might not even realize he's kept closed. If this resonates with you so far, let's keep the momentum going. Hit that like button and comment number 1 below if you've ever felt the power of creating emotional security in your relationship. Your stories could inspire someone else to build the same connection. And if you're loving these insights, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We've only just scratched the surface, and there's so much more to explore. Are you ready for the next secret? If emotional security is about creating a safe haven, then feminine energy is the irresistible force that draws him in. Stay with me, and let's dive into what makes this dynamic so powerful. 3. Attraction to feminine energy. If emotional security anchors him, feminine energy is the magnetic pull that keeps him captivated. It's not about being passive or submissive. It's about embracing the natural warmth, softness, and emotional depth that complement his masculine traits. When you lean into this energy, you create a dynamic that feels both harmonious and irresistibly alluring. Have you ever noticed how some women effortlessly command attention in a room? It's not just their appearance, it's their energy. Feminine energy is about being fully present in the moment, exuding an air of ease and authenticity that draws people in. For men, this energy is like a breath of fresh air in a world that often demands they stay rigid and composed. But what does feminine energy look like in practice? It's in the way you laugh freely, how you listen deeply, and the way you nurture connections. It's the sparkle in your eyes when you talk about something you love, the way you let your emotions flow naturally, and the way you show kindness, not just to him, but to everyone around you. Here's a secret. Men crave this softness because it balances their strength. While they may admire independence and ambition, what truly captivates them is a woman who can be strong and emotionally open, someone who reminds them that it's okay to feel, to let their guard down, to simply be. But embodying feminine energy doesn't mean losing yourself to please him. It's about showing up as your authentic self, being comfortable in your skin, embracing your emotions, and inviting him to do the same. When you're genuinely in tune with yourself, your energy becomes magnetic. Let's imagine a scenario. You're out on a date, and instead of worrying about what to say next or trying to impress him with accomplishments, you focus on enjoying the moment. You laugh at his jokes, share a funny story from your week, and let the conversation flow naturally. That ease you exude, that's feminine energy at work. It creates a space where both of you can relax and connect. Now, there's something important to keep in mind. Feminine energy isn't about always being soft or gentle. It's also about passion, creativity, and strength. Think about the intensity of your love for a hobby, the fire you feel when defending something you care about, or the warmth you bring to the people in your life. These are all expressions of feminine energy, and they make you unforgettable. Men often describe this dynamic as refreshing. Why? Because in a world where they're expected to constantly perform and provide, being around someone with feminine energy feels like coming home. It's a reminder that life isn't just about striving, it's also about being. But don't take this as a call to change who you are. Feminine energy isn't something you force, it's something you uncover. It's already within you, in the way you care, the way you express yourself, and the way you connect with others. Think of it as the dance between Stoicism and emotional openness. While he might guard his emotions behind a stoic front, your feminine energy invites him to step into a more balanced version of himself. It's not about opposites attracting, it's about creating a partnership where both energies complement each other. As you lean into this energy, you'll notice a shift. He'll start to open up more, seek your company, not just because of how you look, but because of how you feel. He'll gravitate toward your presence, drawn by the authenticity and warmth that make you uniquely you. Feminine energy is a powerful, transformative force. When you embrace it fully, it not only deepens your connection with him, it also deepens your connection with yourself, ready to explore what else makes him tick. Let's dive into the next truth, his deep-seated fear of failure and how you can help him face it with grace. The fear of failure. Beneath the confident exterior that many men project lies a fear that is almost universal, the fear of failure. This isn't just about failing in big ways, like losing a job or missing a major life goal. It's about the quieter, more personal moments where they fear falling short, whether in your eyes, their own, or the world's understanding. This fear can transform the way you connect with him, offering insights into his actions, his silences, and even his vulnerabilities. For many men, failure isn't simply an event, it's an attack on their identity. Society often ties a man's worth to his ability to succeed, provide, and lead. So when something doesn't go as planned, it can feel like a blow to his very sense of self. This is why men can sometimes seem distant or irritable after a setback. They're processing not just the event, but what it means about their ability to fulfill their role. Have you ever noticed how he reacts when he doesn't meet a goal he set for himself? Maybe he brushes it off with humor, retreats into silence, or gets unusually defensive. These are all ways of protecting himself from the vulnerability of admitting, "I feel like I failed." While he may not say those words aloud, the emotion behind them is real. So how can you support him through this without stepping on his pride? Start by recognizing that he doesn't always need solutions. He needs understanding. When he shares something that didn't go as planned, resist the urge to jump in with advice or ways to fix it. Instead, acknowledge his feelings. A simple, "That sounds really frustrating. I'm here if you need to talk about it," can work wonders. Another way to ease his fear of failure is to focus on the effort, not just the outcome. Praise him for his determination, his hard work, or his creativity, qualities that remain intact even when the results fall short. For example, if he's disappointed about a missed promotion, you might say, "I know how much you put into that. It's clear you're passionate about what you do, and that's something I really admire." This not only validates his feelings, but also shifts the focus to what makes him valuable beyond external achievements. At the same time, it's important to give him space to process failure in his own way. Men often need time to reflect and regroup before they're ready to talk. Pressuring him to open up too soon can make him feel cornered, so be patient. Let him know you're there without forcing him to share before he's ready. But what about the moments when his fear of failure holds him back? Maybe he's hesitant to take a risk, whether it's pursuing a new career path or even deepening his commitment to you. This fear isn't about a lack of ambition or love. It's about the fear of what happens if things don't work out. In these moments, encouragement becomes your greatest tool. Show him that you believe in his ability to succeed, but also that failure doesn't define him. Think about the kind of partner you want to be. Are you someone who pushes him to chase his dreams while reminding him that he's enough just as he is? That balance between motivation and acceptance is what creates an unshakable bond. It tells him that his worth isn't tied to his victories or defeats, but to the person he is. Here's a final thought to keep in mind. Failure, while difficult, is often where growth happens. When you support him through his fears and setbacks, you become an integral part of his journey. You're not just the person he celebrates with when things go right. You're the person he turns to when things go wrong, and that kind of connection is rare and irreplaceable. So the next time he's grappling with a fear of failure, remember this. Your role isn't to fix or judge. It's to stand beside him, offering the kind of steady, unwavering support that helps him rise again. Now that we've covered his fear of failure, let's explore another part of his emotional landscape, his deep need for personal space and why honoring it is crucial for your connection. 5. The need for space. If there's one thing that can confuse even the most intuitive women, it's a man's need for space. One moment he's deeply engaged, hanging on to every word you say, and the next he seems distant, almost as if he's pulling away. It's not that he doesn't care, it's that personal space is a vital part of how many men recharge and process the world. Understanding this need can be the difference between feeling frustrated and creating a relationship that thrives on mutual respect. So why does he need space? Think of it this way. Men are often like rubber bands. They stretch themselves thin with responsibilities, emotions, and expectations, and when the tension gets too high, they snap back to regroup. This isn't a reflection of his feelings for you. It's how he maintains his sense of balance and independence. But here's where it gets tricky. When a man withdraws, it can be easy to misinterpret it as a lack of interest or affection. The truth is, his need for space often has little to do with you and everything to do with his inner world. It's during these moments of solitude that he processes his emotions, refocuses his energy, and finds clarity. How you respond to this need can make all the difference. If you chase him or demand explanations, it can push him further away, making him feel smothered. But if you respect his need for distance, you communicate something powerful. I trust you, and I trust our connection. Think of it as giving him the room to breathe, so that when he returns, he's fully present and engaged. This is where Stoicism plays a vital role in your dynamic. By staying calm and confident during these moments, you show him that you're secure in yourself and the relationship. Here's a practical tip. When you notice him pulling away, don't panic. Use that time to focus on yourself. Dive into a hobby, spend time with friends, or simply enjoy some self-care. Not only does this keep you from overthinking, but it also reminds him of the independent, vibrant person he was drawn to in the first place. When he does return, welcome him without resentment or passive-aggressive remarks. Instead, say something like, "I hope you had a good time to yourself," and let the conversation flow naturally. This kind of response makes him feel safe and respected, deepening the trust between you. It's also worth noting that space doesn't just mean physical distance. Sometimes it's about emotional space, giving him the freedom to share his thoughts and feelings on his own terms. If he's not ready to open up about something, don't pressure him. Trust that he'll come to you when he's ready. Respecting his need for space isn't about losing connection, it's about strengthening it. When you allow him the freedom to be himself, he'll appreciate you more for it, and in turn, he'll be more likely to reciprocate, giving you the space and understanding you need as well. Now it's time for some reflection. Have you ever misinterpreted his need for space as something negative? How could shifting your perspective create a more positive dynamic between you? Share your thoughts by hitting that like button and commenting number 1 if you've ever experienced this in your relationship. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more insights into building deeper, more fulfilling connections. Our next secret is all about attention and its undeniable allure. Stay tuned to discover why being noticed matters so much and how you can use this knowledge to strengthen your bond. 6. The allure of attention. Attention. It's a word often associated with women's needs in relationships. But here's the hidden truth. Men crave it too. In fact, the way you give him attention can be a powerful force in your relationship, making him feel valued, admired, and deeply connected to you. The key is understanding how he wants attention and why it matters so much. For men, attention isn't just about being noticed, it's about feeling significant. It's about those moments when you truly see him, not just as a partner, but as an individual with his own dreams, fears and quirks. When you give him your undivided attention, you're not just validating his existence, you're telling him that he matters to you. But what kind of attention does he crave? It's not always grand gestures or constant praise. Often, it's the little things that make the biggest impact. Listening to him talk about his day without distractions, remembering small details he shared, or even noticing when he changes something about himself. All of these show him that he's important to you. Consider this. When was the last time you truly saw him? Notice the way his face lights up when he talks about his passions, or the subtle signs that he's had a tough day. These moments are your opportunities to connect on a deeper level, to show him that you're attuned to who he is beyond the surface. At the same time, attention isn't just about focusing on him, it's about balancing your energy in a way that keeps the relationship dynamic and engaging. Showering him with too much attention can feel overwhelming, while giving too little can make him feel neglected. The secret lies in finding a rhythm that works for both of you, where your attention feels like a gift rather than an obligation. There's another layer to this. Men are often drawn to the attention they feel they've earned. When you show genuine appreciation for his efforts, whether it's fixing something around the house or planning a special date, it reinforces his sense of worth and makes him want to do even more for you. This taps into a psychological phenomenon known as positive reinforcement, where the acknowledgement of good behavior encourages it to continue. But attention isn't just about positivity. It's also about being present during difficult moments. When he's struggling, your attention becomes a source of comfort and stability. Simply being there, without trying to fix everything, shows him that he's not alone. It tells him that you see his strength even in his vulnerability, and that kind of support is unforgettable. At its core, the allure of attention is about connection. It's about showing him that you value the person he is and the relationship you're building together. When you get this balance right, you create a bond that feels effortless, natural, and deeply satisfying for both of you. And while giving attention is important, it's equally crucial to let him give it back. A healthy relationship is a two-way street where both partners feel seen and valued. When he gives you attention, accept it with gratitude. It reinforces the mutual respect and care that every strong relationship needs. So, as you think about this, ask yourself, how do you show attention in your relationship? Are there ways you can make him feel more seen and appreciated? Reflect on the little things that make him unique and let those guide your actions. In the next section, we'll explore an equally compelling dynamic, the power of physical affection and why it plays such a crucial role in deepening emotional intimacy. Stay with me as we uncover another layer of his emotional world. 7. The craving for physical affection. While men often express love and connection through physical touch, what's less talked about is how much they need physical affection in return. It's not just about desire, it's about reassurance, intimacy, and the silent language of touch that speaks louder than words. Understanding this craving for physical connection can unlock a deeper emotional bond between you. For many men, physical affection serves as a form of emotional grounding. A simple touch, a hand on his shoulder, a brush of fingers against his arm can convey care, warmth, and love in a way that words cannot. It's through these small, seemingly insignificant gestures that he feels your presence and connection in his life. Have you ever noticed how he relaxes when you hug him after a stressful day, or how his mood shifts when you hold his hand unexpectedly? These moments aren't random. They reflect how deeply men value the comfort of physical closeness. It's not just about the act itself, it's about what it represents: trust, safety, and an unspoken affirmation of your bond. But here's where it gets interesting. Not all physical affection needs to be overt or romantic. Sometimes it's the playful touch of teasing him, the casual leaning against him while watching a movie, or even the quiet stillness of lying close together. These subtle acts communicate, "I'm here, I see you, I care for you." Physical affection also goes beyond the immediate moment. It creates lasting memories. Think about the times you've hugged someone you love and felt their presence linger even after they've left. That's the power of touch. For men, these moments become anchors in the relationship, grounding them in the emotional connection they share with you. However, it's important to recognize that not all men express or receive physical affection in the same way. Some may thrive on frequent touch, while others might appreciate it in more measured doses. This is where understanding his unique preferences becomes essential. Observe how he responds to different forms of touch. Does he lean into it, smile, or relax? These cues will guide you in creating a rhythm of physical affection that feels natural for both of you. There's also a deeper layer to this. Physical affection isn't just about what you give, it's about how you receive it. When he reaches out to hold your hand or pulls you into a spontaneous hug, respond with warmth and openness. Let him see that his gestures are welcomed and appreciated. This mutual exchange of affection strengthens the emotional and physical bond between you. But physical affection isn't only about comfort and connection. It can also reignite passion in long-term relationships. It's easy for touch to become routine or overlooked over time. By being intentional about physical affection, you can rekindle the spark and remind him of the chemistry that brought you together. Imagine this. The next time you're together, surprise him with a touch that's out of the ordinary. Maybe it's running your fingers through his hair as you talk, or gently tracing circles on his hand while sitting side by side. These small, thoughtful gestures can have a profound impact, reminding him of the unique connection you share. In the end, physical affection is about creating a safe space where he can let down his guard and simply be. It's about showing him through touch that he's cherished, not just for what he does, but for who he is. When he feels that kind of love and reassurance, it deepens the bond between you in ways that words alone never could. As we move forward, we'll explore a topic that's just as powerful: the vulnerability men feel when facing criticism, and how you can navigate this delicate terrain with grace and understanding. Stay tuned for the next revelation. The vulnerability to criticism. Criticism is a double-edged sword in any relationship, but for men, it can cut especially deep. Beneath his confident exterior, there's often a quiet sensitivity to how he's perceived, especially by you. When handled with care, feedback can strengthen your bond, but when it feels harsh or dismissive, it can create walls that are hard to break down. Understanding this vulnerability is key to fostering a connection built on respect and trust. Why is criticism so impactful for men? It comes down to identity. Men are often conditioned to see themselves as providers, protectors, and achievers. When they feel criticized, particularly about areas tied to these roles, it can feel like their value is being questioned. Whether it's a comment about his decision-making, his career, or even something as small as how he handles a household task, criticism can hit a nerve that's far deeper than the surface issue. But this doesn't mean you should avoid expressing concerns or frustrations. In fact, constructive feedback is vital in any healthy relationship. The key lies in how you deliver it. Instead of framing your words as an attack, approach the conversation as a partnership. For instance, rather than saying, "You never listen to me," try, "I feel unheard when we don't talk things through. Can we work on this together?" This subtle shift changes the dynamic. Instead of putting him on the defensive, it invites collaboration and shows that you're on the same team. It's a reminder that your goal isn't to tear him down, it's to build something stronger together. Tone is another critical factor. Even well-intentioned feedback can come across as criticism if delivered in a way that feels dismissive or condescending. Pay attention to your words, but also your body language and timing. Criticizing him in front of others, for example, can feel especially hurtful and may cause him to withdraw. Instead, have sensitive conversations in private where he feels safe to open up. And then there's humor. Sarcasm or teasing might seem harmless, but if it touches on an area where he already feels insecure, it can leave a lasting sting. Be mindful of jokes about his skills, his efforts, or his character. What might feel light-hearted to you could linger in his mind far longer than you realize. But let's not forget the other side of the coin: praise. Compliments are the antidote to criticism, and when used intentionally, they can soften the impact of feedback. If you need to address a concern, start by acknowledging something he's doing well. For example, "I love how thoughtful you are when we make plans. It would mean a lot to me if we could also focus on communicating earlier about changes." This approach validates his efforts while gently encouraging growth. Remember, criticism doesn't always need to be verbal. Sometimes your actions can speak louder than your words. Instead of pointing out what he's done wrong, model the behavior you'd like to see. If you want him to be more attentive, show him what attentiveness looks like by being fully present when he speaks. Leading by example can inspire change without the need for harsh words. So how can you navigate this delicate terrain? Start by asking yourself, is this feedback truly necessary? Is now the right time to share it? And most importantly, am I delivering it in a way that strengthens our connection rather than weakening it? When you approach criticism with these questions in mind, it becomes a tool for growth rather than a source of conflict. Think about the last time you gave feedback in your relationship. How did he respond? What could you have done differently to make the conversation more productive? Reflecting on these moments can help you refine your approach and create an environment where both of you feel supported and respected. If this insight resonates with you, I invite you to like this video and comment number 1 below. Sharing your thoughts helps others see the power of these principles in action. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights into understanding and deepening your connection with the men in your life. Now let's turn our attention to another key aspect of the male psyche: their love of a challenge and how this dynamic can strengthen your bond. Stay tuned for the next powerful revelation: the appeal of a challenge. Men are naturally drawn to challenges. It's hardwired into their psyche. From competitive sports to ambitious career goals, the thrill of pursuing something just out of reach ignites their energy and keeps them motivated. This desire for a challenge extends to relationships as well, and understanding how it works can bring a dynamic spark to your connection. But let's clarify one thing right away. Being a challenge doesn't mean playing games or being intentionally difficult. It's about being a woman who has her own standards, passions, and boundaries. A woman who knows her worth and isn't afraid to live by it. When you embody this, you naturally inspire him to rise to the occasion and invest more deeply in the relationship. Why does this dynamic work so well? Because many men value what they've worked for. It's human nature to appreciate things we've had to put effort into achieving. When a man feels like he's earned your time, trust, or affection, he cherishes it more deeply. This doesn't mean you should make him jump through endless hoops. It does mean setting the tone for mutual respect and effort from the start. Think about the women in your life who seem to effortlessly attract and hold men's attention. What do they all have in common? Likely it's a sense of independence and self-assuredness. They don't settle for less than they deserve, and they don't mold themselves to fit someone else's expectations. This confidence creates a natural challenge, inviting a man to step up and meet her on her level. So how can you embody this energy without falling into the trap of manipulation? Start by focusing on your own growth and happiness. Pursue your passions, nurture your friendships, and stay true to your values. When your life is full and vibrant, it sends a powerful message. I'm whole and happy on my own, but I choose to share my life with you. This is incredibly attractive to men, as it shifts the dynamic from dependence to partnership. Another key aspect is setting healthy boundaries. If something doesn't align with your values or makes you uncomfortable, speak up. For example, if he's inconsistent with communication, let him know how you feel and what you need to feel secure. By doing this, you're not only standing up for yourself, but also encouraging him to take the relationship seriously. A man who's truly interested will rise to meet these expectations, while one who isn't won't waste your time. It's also important to let him pursue you in his own way. Men often enjoy the process of courtship. It's part of what makes the relationship feel exciting and meaningful. By giving him the space to show his interest and effort, you allow him to feel a sense of accomplishment and pride in winning your affection. However, being a challenge doesn't mean withholding love or playing hard to get indefinitely. It's about striking a balance between showing your interest and maintaining your individuality. Let him know you care, but also make it clear that your happiness doesn't solely depend on his presence. This creates a dynamic of mutual respect and admiration where both partners feel valued for who they are. Here's an example. Imagine you're planning a date and he offers to pick the place. Instead of saying, "Whatever you want is fine," express your preferences. "I'd love to try that new Italian spot downtown, but I'm open to your ideas too." This shows that you have your own opinions and interests, which makes you more intriguing and engaging to him. Ultimately, the appeal of a challenge lies in creating a relationship that feels dynamic and alive. It's about showing him that love isn't about chasing or controlling. It's about inspiring each other to grow, explore, and become the best versions of yourselves. When he feels challenged in a way that's uplifting and positive, he'll be drawn to you in a way that's both lasting and profound. In the final section, we'll explore a quality that's as subtle as it is powerful: his deep need for validation through actions. This hidden vulnerability could be the key to unlocking an even deeper connection between you. Let's dive in. 10. The need for validation through actions. Actions speak louder than words, and for men, this sentiment holds a profound truth. While compliments and verbal affirmations are certainly appreciated, what truly resonates with him is when your actions reflect your feelings. Men are often more action-oriented in their approach to life, and they naturally interpret gestures and behaviors as clearer indicators of love, respect, and appreciation. Have you ever noticed how he lights up when you take the time to do something thoughtful for him? Whether it's making his favorite meal, supporting him during a stressful week, or simply remembering the small details he shared with you. These actions mean far more to him than you might realize. They're tangible proof of your care and commitment. But why do actions matter so much for men? Validation through actions often ties back to their own sense of worth. They want to feel needed, valued, and significant in your life. When you take the time to show, rather than just tell, how much you appreciate him, it reinforces his sense of purpose and deepens the emotional bond between you. Think of it like this: while words can be fleeting, actions leave a lasting impression. A heartfelt gesture, like surprising him with something he's been wanting or supporting him in a tough decision, becomes a memory he carries with him. It tells him, "You're important to me," and I see your efforts. So how can you validate him through actions in a way that feels authentic and meaningful? Start by observing what matters most to him. Does he value quality time, small surprises, or acts of service? Pay attention to how he expresses love, as this often mirrors how he wants to receive it. For example, if he's the type to help you out with errands or fix things around the house, doing something similar for him might resonate deeply. Another powerful way to validate him is by celebrating his achievements, big or small. Men often tie their self-worth to their successes, and when you acknowledge his efforts, it reinforces his confidence. This doesn't mean you need to throw grand celebrations for every milestone, but a simple, heartfelt acknowledgement, like a text saying, "I'm so proud of you for tackling that project," can make a huge difference. It's also important to show consistency in your actions. Men notice patterns, and when your gestures of love and support are consistent, it builds trust and emotional security. This doesn't mean you need to go above and beyond every day. Even small, steady efforts, like checking in on how he's feeling or sharing a moment of laughter together, can have a profound impact. However, validation through actions isn't about sacrificing your own needs to cater to his. It's about creating a balance where both partners feel seen and valued. When he sees that your actions stem from a place of genuine care rather than obligation, it deepens his respect and admiration for you. There's also a subtle, often overlooked aspect of this dynamic, allowing him to validate you through his actions. When he makes an effort, whether it's planning a date, helping you solve a problem, or simply being there when you need him, acknowledge it. Men want to feel that their contributions are noticed and appreciated. A simple, heartfelt thank you can go a long way in encouraging him to continue showing up for you. Ultimately, validation through actions is about building a relationship that feels real and rooted in mutual care. It's about creating a dynamic where both partners feel secure in the knowledge that they're loved, not just through words, but through the way they're treated every day. Now, as you reflect on everything we've uncovered about his vulnerabilities, from his need for respect to his desire for space and beyond, imagine how these insights can transform your relationship. By understanding his emotional landscape, you're not just connecting with him on a deeper level, you're creating a foundation for a love that's enduring, fulfilling, and truly irreplaceable. We've journeyed through the top 10 emotional vulnerabilities men rarely admit but deeply feel. Their need for respect, emotional security, feminine energy, and so much more. Each of these insights has the power to transform how you see him, how you approach your relationship, and ultimately, how you connect on a deeper, more authentic level. What makes these revelations so powerful is their simplicity. You don't need to reinvent yourself or your relationship to unlock his heart. You simply need to see him, really see him, for who he is beneath the layers of stoic love and strength he wears. In doing so, you open the door to a connection that's as tender as it is enduring. Here's the beauty of understanding his weaknesses. It doesn't just make him feel seen and valued, it empowers you too. It gives you the tools to approach your relationship with confidence, knowing that you're not just reacting to his behavior, but truly understanding what drives it. This is the foundation of Stoicism in love, a calm, intentional approach that strengthens both you and the bond you share. So what's next? It's time to take what you've learned and bring it into your relationship. Start small. Maybe it's showing a little extra respect in the way you acknowledge his efforts, or perhaps it's leaning into your feminine energy and letting him feel the warmth of your presence. As you weave these insights into your interactions, you'll notice the walls coming down, the connection deepening, and the relationship evolving into something truly special. And let's not forget, the journey doesn't stop here. Relationships are dynamic, ever-changing, and filled with opportunities for growth. By continuing to learn, adapt, and connect, you create a partnership that thrives on understanding, mutual respect, and the kind of love that feels as effortless as it does unshakable. If this video resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Comment number 1 below if you feel inspired to explore these insights further in your own life. Don't forget to like this video if it gave you a new perspective, and subscribe to our channel to stay connected. Together, we're uncovering the secrets to deeper, more fulfilling relationships, one conversation at a time. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and remember, love is a continuous adventure. Every step you take brings you closer to the connection you deserve. Until next time, stay confident, stay curious, and stay true to yourself.